I'm sure many of you guys have sat inside of your vehicle on a hot summer day with the AC blown at full speed. It just doesn't seem to be enough. But there is something that you can do to help keep the inside of your vehicle a little bit cooler, and that is window. Window tint doesn't just offer looks, it also offers privacy, as well as UV protection for your skin, as well as the interior of your vehicle. Going along with the interior of your vehicle and the UV protection, it provides a little bit of protection against like your dashboard, your steering wheel, your door panels, anything that the sun hits and it's not protected, that's going to fade over time. So if you had a little bit of window tint on there, that can help your protection of the interior as well, and again keep you cooler as well. Now there are good and bad films available on the market. There's some films that will just offer you privacy of your windows, but there's not going to be any type of heat rejection or UV protection. It's pretty much going to just be on there for looks, and it's going to burn the crap out of your skin in the summer. But on the other hand, there are really good films available, and those films do offer UV protection as well as heat rejection. And with those two, you have different levels or different brands that are available on the market. In fact, 3M is actually endorsed by the Skincare Foundation, and 3M does have a couple different levels of their film. So if you want to go for a film that's darker, or go for a film that's lighter, but you also want heat rejection, they have like different levels of heat rejection to keep your interior cooler, which is a nice feature about it. Okay, so there is a lot of confusion in the way that the law is interpreted. Right now, Pennsylvania does not have any law set in place for window tint. Pretty much like anything aftermarket, especially on your front two windows, or if you have like a sedan and those windows are tinted but they're not tinted from the factory, those are pretty much classified as illegal right now. But like the PA Supreme Court, they did rule that 30% was legal. Then PennDOT says that as long as you have 70% light transmitted through the vehicle, that's legal. But again, the law is up in the air. There's nothing like set in place for what you can and can't have on your windows. Like for example, a Dodge Ram to go with, the back windows are already tinted from the factory, and those are roughly like a 18 to 23%. You can get a window film to match the back, but again, it's going to be as dark as the back windows. So in terms with like an 18% film on the front windows, that's technically not legal in that aspect. But from the windows that are already on the back windows, they already have window film on them. Those are legal because it's from the factory. That's why some people, they'll buy a pre-owned vehicle and it's already tinted, and they'll get pulled over because they didn't know that window tint is illegal, but they have it on their vehicle anyhow. Now with the window tint law, I believe, as well as some of the other people believe, that 35% should be made legal. Now 35% is pretty much as close to what the PA Supreme Court ruled was legal. It's not too dark, but it's not too light. It's kind of like the beginning shade of like the tint setup. And the nice thing about the 35% is it's dark enough to be able to still like have your little bit of privacy, but it's not too dark. And so it stands for like officer safety. If you get pulled over and they're walking up to your vehicle, you know, they can still see inside of your vehicle through 35%. Now if that was 18% or 5%, 5% is the darkest that we actually carry, and 18% is the middle grade. They might not be able to see inside the vehicle. If the sun's out, they might see in a little bit. If the sun is not out and it's a rainy day, they're definitely not going to see inside, which is definitely a little bit of a hazard and a safety concern for officers. All right, and again, with the 35% tint, that is actually lighter than 30%, which the PA Supreme Court ruled was legal, which again, that whole rule is up in the air. But if you have a 35% window film, which is actually a little bit lighter than 30%, you're still pretty good when it comes to safety with that film. Another great feature about having that film on your windows is when you're driving at night, you can still see out of the windows, which is nice, because driving at night with your windows up and dark tint, it can be very difficult, especially if you're on a road that has no street lamps. And lastly, I think a tint strip, which we call as a visor that goes to the top of the windshield, I think that should be added on to the list of things being legal, just because of safety concerns as well. This way you don't actually have to pull the visor down and that kind of obstructs your view depending on how tall you are and where your seat's positioned and stuff like that. So if you just have a visor that goes to the top or a tint strip, you can actually just look through that instead of pulling the visor down and that obstructing your view. And with that too, with the visor, each vehicle has an AS1 line on the windshield, and that's pretty much your legal mark, as they call it. You can have a tint strip that goes from the top of your windshield down to the AS1 line. As long as it's on the AS1 line, you're usually good when it comes to getting your vehicle inspected. But if you go like below the AS1 line, you might have trouble getting your vehicle inspected because they may say it's illegal. So if they at least made a law that allowed you to drop it 1 inch below that line, that'd be a good distance just about for every vehicle on the market right now. Alright, so with all of those factors combined, the keeping your interior cooler, keeping you cooler, as well as protecting your interior and giving your vehicle a little bit of privacy on the inside, I feel that this is a great way to kind of revise the Pennsylvania tint law and have one set in place for what is the legal percentage in Pennsylvania.